In today's video, I'm going to chop some flowers off the top of some plants. I know that sounds counterproductive, but stay with me. I'm also going to give you an update on the peppers that I topped a few weeks ago, and I'm going to show you my glorious aubergine / eggplant plants. Yeah. Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to Robin's Container Gardens. Okay. Oh dear. No. You guys all stand together. Behave yourselves. Now wind, y'all need to cut that out. Hi. It's a bit windy. I'm hoping that it's not too windy for the aubergines. But look at these aubergines. Are they not beautiful? I'll put up on the screen when I planted them, so you'll know how long it took them to get this big. But I mean, my gosh, this one's got, and this one too, leaves bigger than my hand. They're absolutely glorious, and they're so healthy. Now, I know they're leaning a little bit, if that's because of the wind. I brought these out because I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to update you on the topping the peppers. This is one of my Anaheims that we topped in my, I feel like I'm in the jungle now. It's a little cold to be in the jungle, as you can see, because I'm wearing my hat again. But you saw me cut the peppers. You saw me top them. I'm trying to find out find the place where I topped him. And I can't. I know it was topped somewhere. Where did you get topped, brother? Honestly, I cannot even see it. But I know I topped him because I topped all of them. Even the ones that I didn't top in the last video, I did top eventually. So I can't find where I topped him. Most of them are pretty obvious. But look how he's filled out. I mean, side shoots are coming out. He's gotten taller, but he's gotten taller this way. So we're gonna keep an eye on him. We may have to pinch off a little bit of growing tip. This is a side shoot here off the main stem, because this is going to be hard to see on the video. This part here is the main stem, and that's a side shoot. That'd be what in with tomatoes you'd call a sucker. But he has, it looks as if he's got a flower developing. I'm not really sure if that's a flower yet. So this is, like I said, this is one of my Anaheims. So I'm going to hold off on taking that out. This bit here that you can see on this plane may come out, but I'm not sure yet. I'll have to wait and see which one is stronger. But look at that. Isn't that great? I'm so happy. And then this one, this is one of my Yola Wonders, and he was topped right here. He was topped there. So he's filled out down here, and he's filled out up here, and he's going this way. And I know for a fact that is definitely a flower right there. You probably can't see it. I'll take a picture of it so you can see it before I do anything with it. And then this one is another Anaheim, and he was topped right there, if you can see that right there. And he's really filled out too. I don't see any flowers on him yet, but I'm sure he will be trying soon. These have all been repotted since the last time you saw them, and so have these babies. So they're growing, they're spending the night on the kitchen counter where the grow light is at, but during the day they're on the kitchen windowsill, and it looks like a jungle, kind of like it does right now. I still can't get over how jungly this is. So they're getting actual sunlight as opposed to the grow light. The grow light's too low. It's burned a couple of the leaves down here, and I've just removed them off. I've just removed the plants off. There goes another car. Sorry. Very loud car. We'll wait. I'm actually not that close to a main road. but the sound carries over the fields. Luckily, there's no tractor in the field behind me today, so that we won't have a tractor sound. Now, these are my aubergines, and I put up some pictures on my Instagram page, and I'll put these up here. I don't know where my space is, so I'll put them up on the screen somewhere, and I'll show you where the flowers are growing. And I did ask for some advice. It has been a long time. I'll tell you how long it's been since I've grown one of these. It's been since I called them eggplants instead of aubergines. That's how long. So I wasn't sure, and I don't think I ever grew them in pots like this either. I'm pretty sure that I just grew them in the ground, or they had already been in the ground. I can't remember. Like I said, it's been a long time. But what we've got here are very happy aubergine plants, and they're so happy they're wanting to give me some fruit, but it's not time yet. They need to wait until after they get into their outside pots before I let them put flowers on. I thought that was the case, and I did ask for some advice, and I got some advice from one of my community members on Instagram. I'll put her name down below. I'll ask her first to make sure it's okay, but she did tell me that, and I had actually thought this was the case, but I just needed some second opinion, I suppose, that when they start putting flowers on, that's where their energy goes. And what we want to do is we want to encourage as much leaf growth as possible, stem growth, strength. We need to get them stronger than this before they start putting their energy into the flowers. It's lovely that they want to give me fruit already. It just means that they're really happy, and if the wind doesn't break them. Ooh, wind, settle down. Settle down. We're gonna wait till the wind stops. Okay. So we need to make them, they need to be a bit stronger before they start putting flowers on. So what we're gonna do today is we're going to snip the flowers off. We're gonna take them off. And I hate doing it. You know, I hated topping the peppers. I didn't top these, by the way. These have not been topped, and I don't think I'm going to top them. I think they're fine, just the way they are. Oh goodness, this wind. It's spring. So we're going to take the flowers off, and we're just going to leave them like they are. Another thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to repot a little runt aubergine that we had. And these three just took off, and this other one just took his sweet time, but he's trying to catch up, and I'm going to put him in a bigger pot. So I've got a little trick that I'm going to show you about repotting into a bigger pot when you're potting on. So I'll show you that too, and then I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about some failures that we've had other than the greenhouse that tried to blow away like we're in Kansas. I'm going to talk to you about a few failures, and we've got some children playing, so just ignore. They're having fun. So okay, so what we're going to do now, like I said, I'm going to put pictures of the flowers on that I had on Instagram. I'll put those on the screen so you can see where the flowers are. This one is right here, so I'm going to just snip that one right off. Sorry, buddy. Stop blowing, y'all. I could probably just pinch that off, but so that one's off, and then we'll take, oh, they like to hug each other too. The leaves are a little bit sticky. They're not sticky, they're just, they like to hang on to each other. I'm not going to cut that, I'm just going to pinch that off. You can probably see that one a little bit better. You can't see me, but you can see the flower. He's right here. So I'm just going to pinch that off. And I'll continue doing that. If they put off any more flowers, I'll continue pulling the flowers off until they come outside and they are a little bit stronger. I think I'm gonna have to repot these into bigger pots soon. And this one's flower is just teensy weensy, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off anyway because I don't want to put any energy into anything but the leaves and the stem at the moment. I can see, I'm gonna have to take a picture of this. The stem is starting to get a little bit woody, kind of like the peppers are. The peppers are starting to get woody stems as well. So that means they're getting stronger. And I just want them to be healthy. These are the actual seedling leaves that it started out with, so they're actually growing quite big, but it's putting on new growth at all the little shoulders. It's putting on new growth everywhere, so it's still growing, and it's still got time to do what it needs to do when it's time to go outside. So I'm going to stop that there. I'm going to get these guys back inside before the wind decides to take them down, and then I'll be back and I'll show you my little trick. I'll be back and I'll show you my little trick for repotting, so bear with me. Okay, so here we are. This is the little runt. Believe it or not, he was planted the same days I planted those other guys. He just took his sweet time coming up, and I actually did consider sacrificing him at one point. But I changed my mind, and he started putting on secondary leaves, and he is growing. I still don't know if he's going to make it completely, but I gotta give him a chance. I'm like the world's worst thinner. If I've got like lots of carrots and stuff and it's time to pull them up, it really hurts me. It hurts me in my heart to pull them up. But I'm going to show you a little trick. I have to say though, I love the leaves of these aubergines. They're so pretty. They're round and beautiful shade of green, and they're just gorgeous. Even if I don't get any fruit off of them, which I think I will because they've already started flowering, the big ones that are inside, I like the greenery on these things. So even if they decide not to give me any fruit at all, which I hope they do because they're beautiful purpley, creamy, striped ones, and I got them, believe it or not, I got them specifically for container design, not only just for the fruit, but also for the greenery, because they are so pretty. And if they fruit, perfect, because I love to eat them. And I'm going to, these will be grown outside in my little sun trap. And I know the last few videos I've done, we've had lots of wind. For some reason, we're just getting more wind than we normally do this time of year, I think. So anyway, so what I've got here is I've got the pot that I'm going to put it in, and I've got another pot exactly the same, and I also have a little bit of bloodfish and bone that I'm going to put in there, a little bit of fertilizer, not tons, but just enough to give it some start. And then I've got some compost here. This is purchased compost. It's not compost from our compost heap over here, and it's not reclaimed compost. Anyway, I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can really get a good look at this, and then you'll see what my little trick is. Okay, so this is a bit awkward, but we're going to do it anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you a picture here of how I've got it all set up, so you can see how awkward it is. So what I'm going to do. Now this compost is kind of pre-watered, so it's not dry, but it's not wet either. I'll wet this when I get this inside. I'll give it a good water so I can water everything in. Okay, so I've put about, let's say, about an inch and a half of soil on the bottom there, and I'm gonna sprinkle a wee bit here, bloodfish and bone. I know I told you last week to wear gloves when you're doing this, but there's not enough in here, and I will wash my hands when I go inside, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna seat this pot in here just like that, and he's gonna be right there. Now, this is gonna be the fun part. I'm gonna start putting compost in on the sides. It's gonna get messy, but you'll see what I'm doing here in a minute. Turn it around a little bit. Trust me, it looks a bit faffy, but it will make a difference. You'll see the difference in a minute. You'll see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to make sure this is as even as possible around the edges. And put a little bit more in, actually. It's not as high as I want it. Take some of this that's fallen out, and there's some that's fallen inside the pot on the inside as well, so we can use that too. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it down just a smidge, but there's a reason why I'm doing that, because I want to make it solid as possible. Not solid, but compact a little bit. I'm going to turn this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully lift it out, and now we've got a little hole. Can you see that? There's a little hole in there that's exactly the same size as this pot, which is this pot. So when I take Mr. Aubergine out, and because he's so big, I'm putting my fingers on the other side of his stem. I'm not going to touch or pull anything, and I'm just sliding him out. He's got a relatively good root structure there, and I'm just going to plop him down in there. Now look how easy that was. Look at that. Now I didn't disturb anything at all here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to backfill a little bit, and I'm going to shore him up because he's a little bit unsure. I'm going to shore him up a wee bit on all the sides, but you definitely want to leave enough space between the top of the compost. I'm not doing this really hard, by the way. I'm just patting it down just to kind of level it off. You want to leave enough room between the top of the rim of your container and your compost so when you do water it, it doesn't run off the sides. And you'll want to do that when you plant it outside as well. Just got to neaten it up a little bit here. And now we have our repotted runt aubergine, and I'm just going to reuse the label here. I make my labels out of milk cartons, so they're reusable. You just have to wash them off with some soap and water. But there he is, and now he's happy. He'll have a little bit more growing room than he had in this pot here. And now I'll get him watered in when I take him indoors, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't really show a little bit more growth soon, because I put some of that bloodfish and bone down here at the bottom, so when his roots get down there to look for some food, they'll be able to pull that slow release fertilizer back in. So there's that. And now I'm going to take him back inside, and I'll come back out and I'll talk to you about my failures. So now little Mr. Aubergine is in his new home with some fresh, nutritious compost, and he's been watered in and he's taking a nap. But I wanted to talk to you really quick about failure. We all fail as gardeners. There's always going to be something that doesn't work the way we want it to work. I wanted to grow quite a few different things this year, mainly just to see if I could. And there's a couple of those things that I have already given up on for good reason. One of them is peanuts. If you remember way back to my first video, gosh, it's been 2 months, almost 3 months now. Way back in my first video, I told you that I wanted to grow some peanuts in the bed up front. I could not, for the life of me, to get them to germinate. I could not get them to germinate, no matter what I did. I tried 3 or 4 different ways of doing it, and every single time they molded. I don't know if I got bad seed peanuts or what happened, but I'm going to try again next year. It's too late in the season now because they need a long growing season, so it's too late in the season now to start over. So I'm going to pack that in this year, but I am going to keep going. I'm not going to give up. I don't give up on things very easily. But then I also wanted to grow okra. Now, okra was something that my mother grew when I was growing up, and I think my grandpa did too. I can't remember, but I do know that we had it in our garden when I was a kid, and I remember eating it and enjoying it and thinking it'd be kind of cool if I could grow it here. And I've got the kind that you can grow in a cooler climate than Arkansas. But they got really leggy, and I'm sure that it had something to do with where I had them in relation to the grow light. I've still got seeds left over, so I'm going to try them again next year to see how I get on. I'm gonna have some different setups next year. I'm already making plans for next year. I don't know why I'm already starting when I haven't even really got started with this year yet, but you know, that's how it goes. But I have not managed to do any. I mean, these were like, the stems on these suckers were like that long with little leaves. They never got secondary leaves or anything, so I just gave up. I probably grew, I think probably 4 different sets of them, and I just, at different times, to see if they would do any better, and I just could not get them to go. So I gave up. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna give myself any grief. I've got a whole lot of stuff that I'm putting back here. Because I put my potatoes in 7-gallon fabric containers, I have freed up a couple of 20-gallon containers because I was gonna put about 4 or 5 in those. If I can get the corn to go, I'm gonna do an extra container of corn, so I'm gonna see if that will work. I'm just trying a lot of things this year that I've never grown before. So that's that. I'm replanting my tomatoes, the seeds that I got. Those have been replanted, and they're in a different position in the house until we can get the greenhouse sorted. And as soon as we get the greenhouse sorted, I will I'll film the fix that we've done, and then I will I'll put that video up as well. I don't know if I'll put that in as a Sunday video. That might be one that I put in the middle of the week somewhere. So we'll just wait and see how that goes, and hopefully we'll be able to, in the next few weeks, fingers crossed, in the next few weeks we'll start being able to put some stuff outside and plant some things outside. I'm gonna get my beans started again. I know it's a bit late, but I even had them later last year. I think I planted beans in July and I still got a harvest in September. So I'm not worried about them taking too long. They'll be fine. I know other people have overwintered beans, and they're already like yay high and doing really well. But I didn't have the space for it. I wasn't set up for it, so I just didn't do it that way. But I'll get that done, and late in the month I'll start my pumpkins, and those will be going on the arch. I keep looking in the direction of where things are going to go, and you have no idea where that's located in relation to the way the house is set up. So I apologize for that. But we've got a lot going on this month, and from now on it's going to be go, go, go. We get these lovely long summer nights. So anyway, or long summer days, not nights. That's in the winter anyway. But that's me for today, and until next time, stay safe, take care. Bye y'all.